Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I don't know about you guys, but this whole coronavirus has really made me even more passionate about homemaking and about kind of getting back to the old-fashioned skills that people kind of got out of the habit of handing down. And I think we all just were kind of spoiled by how easy it was to go to the grocery store, and the coronavirus has really kind of brought to light how dependent we all are on these like big companies. I don't know how it is where you guys are, but we've been having like meat shortages at the grocery store and different, a lot of the stuff at the grocery store is really picked over. It can be a little scary. Like, I personally just want to be a lot more self-reliant in the years to come. I would like to also use less waste. Some of these skills sort of help with that too. So let's jump right into the skills, the old-fashioned skills that I want to learn, and maybe you guys can learn right along with me. So the first one that I want to talk about is gardening. And you guys know I've been really excited about my garden. I think later this week is when I'm going to start planting stuff. This year I just have a little raised bed. It's a 3x12 in my backyard. I'm starting really small. Now my dad is a really good gardener, and he always every year has a huge garden out on my parents' property. Unfortunately, growing up, I just wasn't really very into it. So I know the basics, but I really just want to know more, and I want to be able to do it myself. I just think, how cool is that to be able to grow your own food? You know exactly what's on it. You don't have to worry about pesticides or anything like that. And also you can eat seasonally, which is another thing I've been reading more about, just the importance of eating foods that are in season and how much better that is for your body, for your gut health. I would like to be healthier, and I'd like for my family to eat more like fresh, unprocessed foods. So that's one of the main reasons that I'm really into gardening lately. I hope to, just slowly learn more and more, kind of master this 3x12 garden this year, and then next year add another bed and then another, so that's kind of my goal. So the second skill that I want to learn goes hand in hand with gardening, and that is preserving and canning. So I've done this before with my family. It's something that like our parents and grandparents grew up doing all the time, but I just never really as a kid learned how to do it. I've seen people do it, but I want to get better at it and feel confident in doing it myself. So the point behind preserving and canning is you grow all of these vegetables in your garden in the summer, and then you can can a bunch of the excess, and then that way you have this, organic, fresh, local food saved for yourself during the winter months as well. And you can make stews and pies and whatever. How cool would it be? I think one of my life goals is to be able to grow enough food that we never have to go to the grocery store for food. Wouldn't that just be so cool to just have all your own food that you grow and that you know exactly how it's been cared for? And I don't know, there's something so cool about that to me. We plan on doing a lot of canning this year, with especially the tomatoes, because we're planning on growing a ton of tomatoes. So hopefully when we do that later in the summer, I will be able to share some videos on that with you guys. The next skill that I want to learn, and that I'm in the process of learning, is baking bread. My mom always talks about how my grandmother, Catherine, would bake fresh bread every week, and it just sounds so lovely to have fresh baked bread every week. It seems like something that is very time consuming, but such a labor of love. And lately I've been hearing about, I'm sure a lot of you guys have also heard about this, sourdough bread. Sourdough bread has really come back into style. The more you read about sourdough, it's really, really cool. And I currently have a sourdough starter that I'm working on starting right now. I've been talking about on my Instagram a lot. But if you don't know what that is, basically you can just mix flour and water, and I'll probably do a full video on this eventually. But if you mix flour and water and you do this kind of process of what they call feeding it, you create this substance that it creates its own yeast. And so you don't need, this is how people used to make bread back before, you could just go to the grocery store and get a container of yeast. This is a very cheap and long-lasting way to make your own bread. So you use this starter, the sourdough starter, as the ingredient in your bread that makes the bread rise, rather than using yeast because it creates its own yeast. It's like wild yeast, if that makes sense. You can also use it to make pancakes and pizza dough and anything like that. So it's really cool. And people, I guess, used to pass it down in families because it was just such a valuable thing to have. Like, that's how they made their bread, you know? And once it's established, like, it can live for as long as you continue to feed it. So over the years, sourdough bread kind of fell out of fashion because people had access to yeast more easily. But I just think how cool to have a sourdough starter always in the fridge, so you can always whip up, you know, bread, pancakes, whatever. And also it's supposed to be easier on your gut. I don't remember the scientific reason behind it, but there's something in it that makes it easier to digest than regular bread. So I don't know if I'll be baking bread every week like my grandma did, but I definitely just think this is a cool skill to have and a cool thing to be able to do, because bread is another thing that our grocery store is really starting to run low on. And I don't know, you just don't think about how reliant we are on other people and other companies. I really like the idea of knowing how to do that myself. The next skill that I want to learn, and I kind of already do this a little bit, but making my own cleaning products. So obviously not everything. Cleaning products can really be expensive, like countertop cleaners and glass cleaners and, you know, shower and tub cleaners and things like that. They can really add up. And I've actually found some pretty good recipes for DIY cleaners. Let me know if that's something that would be interesting to you guys, and I can do a video on that too. But they work really well. And what's great about DIY cleaning products like that is you can make them in bulk. You save a lot of money that way. And also there's less harmful chemicals. You know, if you have a little kid like I do, that's something that's important to me. And also I don't want to breathe in a bunch of chemicals either. Yeah, so that's on my list. And like I said, I've already kind of been doing that a little bit, but I would like to learn even more. And then the last thing along those same lines is DIY beauty products. Again, not everything. I will still be buying regular makeup and probably most hair products and things like that. But I do think it would be cool to make my own, you know, soap, body scrubs, like lip balm, things like that, that oftentimes they're expensive and loaded with chemicals. And so I think it would be nice to, you know, just know that like you're using more natural products. And there's something cool about when you make it yourself and just knowing exactly what's in it. You know, you don't have to have there's nothing questionable about it. But also there's the financial aspect and just saving a lot of money by doing it that way. So I'll probably be sharing any good recipes that I find for that type of thing too here on my channel. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please let me know in the comments if any of this stuff is interesting to you or more interesting than it used to be because of the coronavirus. Be sure that you're subscribed, and you can also follow me over on Instagram at hollyhomebody_, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.